See, are things gonna work out? Two different streams on the same day. It's been a while since I've done that. Is this working? Maybe? Oh, I think so. Awesome! Welcome to Code Hangout number 144. I wonder if people that popped into my earlier stream, hey Chameleon, are aware of this new URL. I hope so. I hope so. Okay, I don't have a huge amount of time, so this is going to be a little bit of a more theoretical planning, designing, thinking stream. I called it CloudSync. I'm pretty sure I had one before because I worked on a account-less version of CloudSync. I've done a stream called CloudSync before. But now I'm actually going to think more about like, hey, once I build the account's MVP, CloudSync needs to get integrated, right? And what does that mean? CloudSync is going to be sort of the first real product of the account system. I think that's something that's going to be useful to everybody. And that's basically just synchronizing progress across different devices, different browsers, etc., right? And I mean, as far as accounts is concerned, all I really need is an ID to tie different sync requests together, right? So I want to tell the server, hey, I want to sync some progress. Here's the progress. Server, please give me some identifier. And then I can use that identifier, such as my login, from a different device to pull that progress in, right? That's the minimum step. But obviously there's a little bit more to it. Right now, the system isn't designed for merging and syncing like that. So timing is an issue. Like, how do we detect which progress is more advanced? So the initial version might have to have a lot of user interface stuff, you know, asking the user, hey, we've detected these two states. Which one do you want to use? You know, this one has X moves, this one has Y moves, you know, that kind of stuff. So let's write a few of these things down, right? The other thing I want to do is I want to detach the authentication system as much as possible from everything else. So I want to run authentication as a microservice that does nothing but authentication. And then I'm going to just say, hey, I've got a token. Is this guy signed in? And if yes, who is it, right? And if not, please sign him in. And when you're done, please let me know what's going on, right? So I don't want to have the authentication intertwined with the account server or any of the other servers, right? I don't know if that's generally done like that, but I do like to separate certain concerns and have lots of little microservices and stuff and disconnected systems, simple, small systems, right? All right, so what do we need? So we have, we have sort of a account or a auth microservice. That's our authenticator, right? Then we need client-side collection of progress state, right? So we need to collect all this. Probably we'll do it in bulk. We'll just grab everything and then send it to the server. We'll have to decide, do we want to do this automatically? Like, does every connection just do that? Or do we ask the user, hey, do you want to synchronize your state? Yada, yada, right? The problem is, obviously, on the receiving end, we won't have the state unless it gets pushed. So probably what will happen is, as the system gets implemented at the end of your game, or at regular intervals, we'll just sync the current puzzle state to the server, right? So this is probably going to be both. There's going to be a bulk option initially, but there's also going to be a per puzzle option as we go along, right? Then we need state, let's see, progress conflict resolution. So we need a system that determines either a system that does it automatically somehow, or something with user input, or likely both. So there will be some situations where we do it automatically, and some situations where we'll ask the user. And that might be explicit, right? We might have like a button you can press to do a thing, right? Then we need, we need a database for the users, just like we need a puzzle database, right? We'll need a accounts DB. So yes, authentication can be outsourced, but at the very least, we need to have a row for a user that has things like their state, has things like the puzzles they've created, things like that, right? It doesn't necessarily need to have literal user data in it, right? I mean, yes, user data, but not necessarily authentication data. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to have usernames or passwords or real names or anything like that in there, right? And we'll probably want to go into more details about that. And in fact, now that I'm saying that, don't I have a document here somewhere where I have tabs or these things? I think it's this one. Yes. Right. Also, you know, we looked at auth provider, Kinde. But for example, what about Kinde vs Auth0, right? I think they're probably similar systems, right? 525 per month, 1,000 M2M tokens. Seems like a lot, right? Auth.js. Super tokens. Fortunately, notice price is one of our cost differentiators. All right. So, we might wanna do a list of these. We'll have auth provider, Kinde, Auth0. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Nope. No. Right. No. Can I just type, please? Auth0, super tokens, auth.js. So I'm guessing auth.js is just a library, right? Auth.js. Like, it's probably not a service. Maybe it is. This becoming auth.js, security, experimental. So yeah, I think that's just like a self-host version, basically. I mean, I don't really see what they're doing on their servers, because they're redirecting to the third-party auth provider, and then it comes back to my system anyways. So maybe I can do it myself. I mean, it's not like I haven't done it before. This service, on the other end, is another paid service, I believe. Multi-tenant features, pricing. Let's see. Cloud per MA per MAU. That's 1,000 active users, right? New product. Number of unique every month, including new signups. 3 under 5K active monthly users. Self-hosted. That might be the way to go. 0.02 cents per MAU. MAU is 1,000, right? Fine. Used to be a thing on YouTube. I mean, on Google. YouTube. Monthly active users. Oh no, it's monthly active users, so it's individually. Okay. So let's say if I want 10,000 monthly active users by 2 cents per user, that's $200 for 10,000. Holy moly, that seems like a lot. I don't know why these are so expensive. Like a single... Is it because there's a lot of traffic, lots of API calls to their system? I'm not sure. But they do have a self-hosted option. So I'm happy to proceed with Kinde for the MVP and then switch to something else for live, right? It's a little annoying because I'm struggling a little with running it locally. But that's something we might poke into it, because last time I was trying to run it as a local web server, but maybe the web server version is not what I need, because that'll, you know, like I was trying to do internal microservice stuff, but because it probably looks at specific browser interaction, you know, automatically posting HTML and JavaScript and all this stuff and doing some sort of browser sniffing, it might be tricky to actually hijack that. So I might be better off doing like an offline version, like a native app version, and to run that on my server as a microservice, right? and then interface it to something web-facing somehow. Might still be dodgy, and I might actually lose out on most of their usability. The other thing I might do is just for testing, just do Google OAuth or something, do something really super simple without all the multi-tenancy stuff. Yeah, then the other thing I was thinking regarding the puzzle database, because I keep thinking, how do I sync the puzzle database with the system? Because it feels like I need to both use the system and update because like, let's say if I write the code that saves short IDs and it only saves to the puzzle database, then the short IDs won't exist, right? So it feels like I need to build that system and the system that reads simultaneously, and that feels like a lot of stress on me. But what I'm thinking about is that what I could do is I could pre-seed the puzzle database, like what I'm doing with what I've done in recent streams, with the bulk of the data, and then just make requests into, like, build the read side, the new read code based on the puzzle database, but then have a little gate where it says, hey, if you can't find it in the puzzle database, just import it now. You know, check obviously if it exists. If it doesn't exist, then obviously it doesn't exist. But if it exists, just do a single puzzle import, right? So just the same way that I have bulk import for the puzzle database. So I wrote the code that basically imports, 80,000 puzzles in 10 seconds or whatever. I also should write code that imports one puzzle, right? And it'll be a bit different because it won't do any of the bulk operations, obviously. Let me see. So I'll need something where I pointed at a singular short ID file. Hey Shelby, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So basically read one, and then that's some. So these are two things I could do on stream today, two small things. The other thing I told Mark about it, and he told me, it's not important, don't do it. But I had a shower thought about in the future, once I have the puzzle database and all this stuff, I really want to improve a lot of nice to have and lifestyle quality of life stuff. And one of those things is the speed at which the puzzle loads, right? So right now, when we look at that, and when we load it with a disabled cache, right? So if I refresh here with the cache disabled, I mean, it's fairly fast, right? 300 milliseconds. But it loads about a megabyte of resources. Now, most of that megabyte of resources can be probably cached. So I can replace all of these individual feature files with a singular file, which is probably not going to be huge. It's probably going to be smaller than that. Which then hopefully gets cached or CDN'd or whatever, and only changes when I do an actual update. But what still needs to be coming through is the initial request file. And I don't want to cache that one, because that means I wouldn't be able to deploy new versions, because there's no way of notifying the client there's a new version, right? Now, I tried to keep it really small, and right now it's about 5K. And it does include some things which we probably don't need. For example, I think it includes a base64 encoded version of an icon. Oh, not this one. It doesn't include too much. Yeah, it does include a couple of the icons, which I can probably pull out, right? This can be loaded, like, especially in a menu that doesn't pop up right away. So that could be actually part of the cache data, right? But what I was thinking is, right now, one of the problems is that after you've loaded these files, you got to pull the puzzle data. And that's fairly quick here locally. But let's say if I go to the deployed site, right? It takes a moment, right? Let's restart. So let's do this again. So this is it loading. It's still fairly quick. But, 4 seconds is not nothing, right? And part of that is there's sort of like, when does it do what, right? So it's getting all these files one after the other, and streamlining that into a single file is already going to be a huge thing, a huge speed up. But it also needs to now asynchronously request the puzzle, and then it needs to decode the puzzle, and then it needs to render the puzzle, right? And with the puzzle database, I have a place where I can have a decoded version of the puzzle, and not just, decoding the F-puzzle data. I can literally have the transformed SCL data and directly inject it into the root file, right? This file. I can just have somewhere here a piece of JavaScript that says, you know, window dot underscore underscore SudokuPad underscore puzzle equals, and then it's just a JSON, a parsed JSON object, right? And it'll be available after 300 milliseconds, which is basically the not CDN, the domain resolution time, right? And further than that, I could literally have the SVG data already in here. So if I look at this SVG here, if I say copy out to HTML, right, and I'll put that in here, this is, does it tell me how big it is? It's about 5K. So it's not that big, right? Now, this is not a complex puzzle, so these can get bigger. But I could include that, even a minified version, and I can all cache that, right? This can all be offline generated, so I can have a service that generates these pre-rendered bits of SVG. Now, what I don't have right now is I don't have a way of using that, right? So then I have two options. Either I change my code that it can hook into the existing image and then use it instead of having to rebuild it, or it literally does rebuild it off screen and then just swaps them around, right? Yeah, well, yeah. Just, you know, one step at a time, right? Like, remember, I'm not just talking about building a thing end to end. I'm also talking about building tech, right? So the tech of, for example, right now, the server that builds this file, well, it doesn't do anything, right? It's a file server, so it doesn't have a mechanism of checking if, you know, for example, the 404 doesn't come from the, that's why I don't have a true 404 error coming from the server, because the server doesn't know if the puzzle exists or not, because the server is a dumb file server. It doesn't actually check anything. It's the API server that hits later, right? So it's not just about what happens user facing. It's also, for example, Google, right? Google doesn't see a 404 if it follows a bad link, because it just gets the same file as any other puzzle, right? So by pre-rendering it, you know, pre-rendering on the server, it serves lots of different purposes. Hey, Senzi30, how are you doing? Welcome on the Twitch chat. Anyway, you know, like you mentioned, it's not important right now. But I do kind of want to, as I'm integrating the puzzle database, because that's basically what's going to happen, is that my server, and I'm just going to go there to kind of remind myself, right? So right now, when you're hitting a puzzle, you're basically hitting, where are we? You're gonna hit, you're going to hit, are we gonna hit this? That does the Sudoku redirect. Yeah, you're basically hitting this final one, right? And handle serve puzzle is basically just more or less. Yeah. So the only reason why this is not a plain file server is because it checks if we have to generate a short ID, right? And if we have to generate a short ID, which happens client side as well, we redirect them to the client side short ID generation tool, which is basically this one, right? And other than that, we're just serving a static page, right? But basically what I want to do here is I want to hit the database, which will be faster than whatever else I'm doing here, to check if, you know, that data exists or whatever. And then we can basically, we already have the data, and then we can just inject the data in the file, right? We don't need to read that file from the drive and serve it as a static file. We can just inject a little bit of 1-bit string from the database, and it's not going to be much effort, right? And it's just going to be there. Followed me for no reason. Oh, sorry. Well, I was playing a game before, and now I'm doing work, so I had to, for the sake of YouTube, because YouTube doesn't let you have a singular stream like Twitch does, I had to stop the stream and start it up again. And now we're streaming programming. Sorry if you came for Timberborn. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do more of that during the week or next weekend or something like that. Anywho, yeah, no more Timberborn today. I wish. I enjoy it, but I enjoyed too much, unfortunately. Okay, clients a collection of progression state. Blah blah blah. So serve this. Here we go. Again, like I don't want to go down too many rat holes right now. So let's do a thing that I mentioned earlier that I could do, which was, oh yes, I wanted to try if I can do the microservice thing via auth server. Yeah. So I was trying to run 2 services here. Oh wait, we were already here. Did I set up the scripts? Will this just run? So can I just do npm run auth to run the auth server? And npm run start to run the actual server. And I don't remember how. Localhost 3000. So if I go here, what do I get? Put that there. Not authenticated. That doesn't feel right. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at Kinder API. Kinder docs. Let's see. I wasn't super happy with their documentation either, to be honest. They'll do these. Everybody does these nice screens, how in theory, but then in practice, eh. So what? Because this only works towards a web server, which is not what I want, right? So I want React Native SDK, maybe? Again, I don't want React. I want native Node.js, basically. Maybe JavaScript SDK? No, that's client side. You haven't already got your redirect users. Yeah. They'll be redirected back to your JavaScript app after signing in or signing up. Authenticate your app. You need to specify which URL should React users. This needs to match the ones listed in the application. App is running. Okay. GitHub connected, Patreon connected, add manage webhooks, Kindle Edge Worker services, access to error codes. Okay, Node.js example. Don't use Postman or other tools to test your connections. There's an example how you call the Kindle Management API. Oh, can I directly talk to it? Get user. Use the access token to call the Kindle. Here's an example of calling. Call the Kindle token API using the API key details to copy at step 1. Here's a good example. This could return an access token. This should return an access token. Gotta start connecting products to user. You can ask me a question on AI, but I'm not sure if I can respond with useful information. I'm familiar with AIs, and I've been doing neural networks since the 90s, but I haven't dealt with large language models on a programmer's basis, to be fair. All right, refresh to protect your API. The problem is this system does 2 things. One is, stuff internal with the API. Hey, is this authenticated? Do stuff, right? The other is the actual doing of the stuff, redirecting to URLs, generating URLs, and all this stuff. And that I don't want to build myself. That's kind of the service they're providing. So the problem is I'm kind of trying to cut in between those 2. Top P and Top K. I am not familiar. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't implemented, I haven't used PyTorch other than installing it and running it, right? But I'm not like a Python programmer, or I haven't worked with tensors, with TensorJS. I'm using them, but I'm not a developer, so I'm sorry about that. In fact, I've recently set up GPT for all, and I'm still I'd like to figure out an easy way of interacting with those systems server side, because I want to use them for my stuff here, for my puzzling. But I haven't set them up from scratch. All right. Android SDK. So Android, same thing, right? It needs to be able to refer to domains. Here's your app view details. Callback your own relevant fields. Kinder callback your Kinder host. myhostkin.com, my app. Alright. So, it's annoying. I feel like I'm so close. So where we got to last time, right? Handle index cookie undefined. So I'm talking to the auth server, the authentication server here, right? I'm talking to it. It's listening on 301. On the server, let's do that. On the server, on the second server, we're hitting index, right? When we're hitting index, we're here, and we want to execute check auth here, and that's coming back with this. Okay, so yeah, so we want to bring the cookie through. Do we want to do this ourselves? Not really. So that's because I'm assuming it's using a cookie, but I don't actually know that. So how does it manage its API on their side? And that's kind of the problem, is that this is not complete documentation. It's not going to tell me that. It's just, hey, if you follow our examples and do exactly this and nothing else, you'll be fine, right? And that makes me wonder, do I just want to set up something else? Like self-hosted auth.js, right? Is that going to work better? Express auth. Express auth sample. Start with auth. Start with magic links. Integrate with external auth. Support more frameworks on the way. Auth.js is a complete open source authentication solution for web applications. Check out live demos of Auth.js in action. Okay, that's fine. Secure by default, yada yada yada. Introduction. Okay, login providers. Credentials. We're going to provide credential based on intentionally limits to discourage use of passwords to be inherent. Yeah, it's fine. No framework. Yes, please. When using auth, you're asking for third-party servers and use GitHub, auth, it could be Google, Twitter, etc. Yes, I understand how it works. Register a new auth. Yeah, that's GitHub. That's fine. I don't want to use GitHub though. Hosted auth clerk. Is that? Okay. Start building for free. Yeah, I know I can build for free. 10,000 monthly. Active users is 0, same as Kinder, basically. 24 per month gets us what? After 10,000. Scale your app. So you're paying the 25, but you still also have to pay another 2 cents per MAU. So 10 users, 20 cents. So 50 users is $1. So 500 users is $10. 5,000 users is $100. And 10,000 users is $200, right? They're giving you $200 worth for free. I mean, I have 40,000 daily users, but that doesn't mean I'm going to have 40,000 signed on accounts, right? There's going to be new users. They're not going to create an account immediately. Is it true that AI doesn't actually understand your text, but the text gets converted in binary code and the AI just responds on the probability? Sort of, yes, kind of. The problem is not so much does it understand or not. The question is, what do you mean by understand, right? Some people say it does understand, some people says it doesn't, but that all depends on your definition of understanding. That's the thing, right? Like, maybe our brains do the same thing, just a little bit better, right? Maybe if they make their, maybe they've cracked it. Maybe the way they're designing large language models today is very similar to how the human brain works. And all they need to do is figure out a couple of extra tricks and make it a little bit bigger, maybe 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, maybe so big that we can't do it because it takes too much compute. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe they're barking up the wrong tree, right? Maybe they've designed a, I don't know, nematode worm brain, and they've just made it really big, made the smartest nematode worm ever, but it's never going to be as smart like a human, right? So it kind of depends on the definition of the word understanding. Aw, wait a second, why are you on the beach? I thought you were taking Toby for a walk. Oh, you took him to the beach for a walk. Awesome. Thanks for hopping in on the stream. I'm trying to figure out how I'm not going to spend several $100s a month just for authentication. So the reason I'm doing accounts is to earn money myself, not to give it to these other companies, right? Wait, but yeah. Sudoku. I was wondering, where's the actual setup thing? It's because it doesn't exist. Alright, well, that's Auth.js. Then Clerk was the paid version of Auth.js. Fair enough. That's their example. Fair. What else? What else did they mention? Super tokens, right? Self-hosted super tokens. Now, if we want to do that with plausible as well, how does that work? How does that set up and work? Yeah. Self-hosted you host minimum paid features add-on. Multi-factor authentication. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, the problem I have with Kinda, I'm gonna have with any other system I'm setting up as well. And on top of that, I still have to set up the other system. I'd like to figure out why I can't just forward the request and what else it does when I forward the request, right? If I access this address, right? If I just go here on port... Oh, wait. Ah, this is supposed to hit 3001. Right. Like that. This is supposed to go here. Is authenticated false, right? So if I go here, is authenticated false. Now the question is, can I authenticate? If I click on... Wait, what is this? This page is... Not authenticated. Authenticated. Oh, this is my freaking to-do list. All right. Hell. To-do. Yeah. All right. I just used this as basically a notepad, right? So, what this does, when we press login, right? It sets it. We do handle login. Then it hits login here. Log in. And that basically does this. But it sets up a whole bunch of other files here, huh? Because it's just a redirect. Now, what I don't understand is how it does the redirect. Like, how does it know to do a redirect and I don't get the redirect from over here? So, let us make sure this is a little bit more repeatable. And this is login. And we want to preserve log. Clear that. Clear that. Right. So the question is, how does it know? Why does it return on redirect here, but not when I make an internal request? Right? How does it understand the difference? Is it snooping on the browser? You know, etc., etc. Right? Let's try some other things, right? I'm gonna take some notes here. Because now I'm thinking, what if we do a fetch request and we have a little bit of more control what we're sending through. But we're still fetching from the browser. So we're still potentially sending through cookies and all this sort of thing, right? If I do this and that, what do we get from here? So it does send me a redirect. Interesting. But If I do it from here, it's probably not going to do it. Oh, maybe it's going to do it. Has been blocked by course policy. Hmm. The logins, but the login route on 3001, whoops, on the auth server. Am I handling it or are they handling it? They're handling it. So that's a course error, but it still does the location thing. All right. So let us look at the request headers and I guess start putting them all in. If I do that, no. If I go, close that, request headers, raw. I grab all of these. Maybe I'll do a little pasteboard down here. So these are the headers that they're seeing. So let's see if I give them different headers, and this doesn't tell us much, right? So we want to get a 302 or 301 redirect header. We don't want to just return the response. We want to do res.status. So we were looking for something else than 200. Status text. I'm just going to put that in there. And then console.log res.body. Like that. I don't know if I need to we are getting a redirect URL. Wait a second. Oh, no. Never mind. I think this is stuff I'm trying to figure out myself. I put that somewhere. So forget that. Yeah. That. Right. Login. So handle login, rest status, rest text. That's the link. So we're getting a thingamajig through here. Okay. So let's see what other... I'm not seeing cookies here. Wait a second. If I look at this guy, right? Yeah, there it is. Why do I not see cookie here? Why no see cookie? Let's clear that. Let's clear that. And let's make that fetch again. So this login request, response headers, ignore. Request headers. Yeah, there's the cookie. But the cookie should be blank anyway, so we don't actually need the cookie. Right, we don't actually need the cookie. What's the other stuff that it's looking for then? Host, maybe? Maybe host? Well, let's just add a bunch and see if it makes it work, right? I guess we could add all, and if it does work, yeah, I guess we could just add all, and then if it does work, we can start removing them again. Right. To add all, we'll do this. We'll do this like that. Right. And then we'll do this at the end. Like that. Right? And then in the middle, we're gonna do this. And if this works, then we know they're looking at some other header that I can probably replicate. And it could be just the host header, maybe? Would be a silly thing to look for, though, under these circumstances. Alright. If I put that in here, That should replicate these headers, right? Boom. Clear. Reload. Nope. Still 200. Is that the way that fetch uses headers, though? Node fetch headers. Node fetch. Yeah. Requires blah 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 headers. Method get headers. No, it should be that. Okay. What about my request here? So if I add this header stuff in here, right? We'll say that. Now the problem is, it could be that there's some headers that are magic, that are just being added by the browser that I have no control over, that I can stop. So this might still work, and I still might not be able to do it. Ooh. Clear. Nope. Bring that in there. So it's still hitting that and immediately getting the redirect, huh? Request headers. Now if I comment this out, do I now get the same thing without the cookie header? That's basically what I want to find out. Does it actually not provide that header now? No, it still does. It still does. What if I say cookie empty? Oh, there's a cookie here. ENT 10. Wait, do it again. Boom. Why is this a course header, actually? What's the request here? Maybe it's not an error? Strange. Let's see. ENT 1. Let me see. Fetch headers overwritten by browser. Yeah, it seems it doesn't send headers at all, actually. First, when you call headers in your export, create comment function you have, less headers equals header verb, capital H. Method, post, mode, no course, redirect, follow. Sometimes, if yes, React Native, the header doesn't need the new headers on it. Okay, that's fine. Becomes people have to use it. Okay, doesn't matter. Answer does not address the first nor the second question, just gives some syntax corrections. Yeah. Use an object instead of new headers. Yeah, no, I'm using an object. Secondly, good to know headers are lowercase by fetch. Thirdly, no course mode limits the use of headers to this whitelist. Oh. But I don't want no course. That's why only your content header is sent, not your XMI custom header or authorization. Alright. Now the question is, when I do this... I can snoop on the headers that arrive from here. Okay, let's do something like this. Test headers. Right. Handle test headers. We'll do like that. Handle test headers. Headers. Handle it. Headers. Headers. Boom. And now, if I do instead of this, test headers, I just want to see what headers are actually sent through from my side. If I do this, cannot get Test headers. Why not? Because this doesn't restart. All right. So, these are the headers that arrive on the other end. Which of these are the ones that I'm actually sending? Sending refer. Okay. So that's right. We're sending a host. That's right. So these all look legit. Right. If we make this an empty string, or if we just leave it blank. Okay. And the response is still 200. And the response is done. Oh yeah, because we're hijacking it at the moment. So let's stop. Ah, no, wait. We can just go back to login. Right. And we'll do that. And then what we get, we're going back to here. Alright, let's try this again. This is the headers that it sees. Oh, wait. What if we do test headers here? Because if we go to login, right, it does the redirect. So this is the headers that we're seeing from that. And how are they different from these? Set fetch destination empty mode navigate. Huh. So if I say navigate and none and user, that's never seen these things before. User question mark 1. Oh wait, these are a different order. Sorry. Site none. Mode user destination is the last one. Destination is document. I don't even know. Document. I doubt that these are important. But who knows, right? Accept language, probably not important. Cookie, we'll see. Upgrade and security requests. Is that something we're sending from here? I don't know. Platform. Question mark 0. Fine. Yeah, it's 1. Cache control, no cache. Fragment, no cache. Cache control, no cache. Keep alive. Host. Localhost 301. Okay. Let's try that again. Handle test headers. Okay. Fetch site. Wait a second. What did it say on fetch site? Fetch site. None. Not 1. None. Navigate. Site mode to destination. Site mode to destination. Alright. Boom. Nope. Every time it pauses, I'm like, oh, this time it's doing something. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Wait, what? Let's just restart. Nope. And login. Still coming through as a 200. God damn it. Alright, let's look at the headers again. Gonna be a bit of a back and forth. So that's the headers we're getting. And from here, we're getting these. Alright. So I want these to be the same, basically. I mean, the order is slightly different, I think. Keep alive. Then we have the accept header. Here the accept happens further down. This is, well, we want it to be like this. Can I just output these and just copy them straight over? That might be a little easier. If I do json.stringify, like a tab, no, a null. I never remember what the null is for. If I do this, shouldn't it just output them straight away? Not quite. Okay. So I should be able to just grab these and then stick them in here. And I should be able to just do a header, let headers equal E. E, that's ugly. Boom. I can do just JSON.parse, right? And I can also do this above it. All right, and we'll do that. And then here we just have headers, like that. And then this will be URL, right? We could just say let URL on my headers, URL equals this, and URL is this. It'll be a little easier to switch back and forth, right? Do that again. Object is not valid JSON. JSON parse a string. We want this to be a string. Till here. Boom. Oop. Expected. Google Chrome. Where? Google Chrome. Ah! This needs to be double escaped. I think even if I do it this way. Wait, how do I double escape it? I think I need to stringify twice. Is that what I need to do? Stringify twice? Ah, jeez, I hate that. I hate that. No. No. I just don't need to parse it. If I don't parse it, I think, like, I don't need to parse it. This is the JSON object, right? Yeah. That should just work. So if I go here, refresh that. Headers, handle test headers. Yep. And if I change it to login. Yeah. It's still figuring it out. All right, so what are the headers now? And if I refresh this, these two should be almost entirely identical now. And they look fair. Oh. Did I do anything with the cookies? No. That's the same. Keep alive. No cache. No cache. That's the same. That's the same. Okay. Besides headers, what other information is it getting? What else is it pulling from? I mean, I guess it can know that the request comes from a different... But the request is always going to come from a different IP address, right? It's like, do I want to literally look into the raw HTTP requests? That's the question, right? Can the login redirect? Is there anything I can find? I'm almost tempted to dig into their code, right? So somewhere in their code, they're listening to the login route. If I go in here, go in here, go in here, and I go in here, and set up auth router app / Is that enough? Set up auth router comes out of auth. So that's their router. Looks simple enough, right? Login, handle login, right? Boom, boom, boom. Handle login. Validate query params, null, status 400, get return client, client login, request query, redirect. So it literally all it does is redirect when it gets here. So how does it not do the redirect? If I do this, right? And I restart it, is that actually going to execute? Am I looking at the right code? No. So that's not the code that's running. Kindnode express package dist index.js. Okay, let's say, what about this? Because the problem is it could also be cached somewhere, right? Yeah, so this never executes. Where's my health server? I'm losing myself. I'm losing my stuff. Too much stuff. So what am I really looking at? Kindnode auth. Kindnode auth utils. Kindnode express. Kindnode OSS. Kindnode express. The problem is I don't know how npm resolves that and which files it actually pulls, right? Because I'm loading this. It should be looking at that. And then the import should be something, 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 type something, right? I either end up in this one or I end up in this one. Maybe I'm ending up in this one. Maybe. Guess that'll be easy enough to find out. So CJS, closure compiler stuff, something, something. Damn it. All right. So we'll have to dig along these nasty ones. Kinder auth router. Redirect route and login. If I do this and I go to login and login too. All right. And if I say and login to error, and I'll say login URL, like that, and I refresh it, and I go back to here, back to login, and what do I get? Error null login URL. Okay, now if I go here and do this, handle login, login, handle login, error null login URL. It does the same thing, but somehow the redirect never Is it because it's following redirects? Are you kidding me? Fetch, don't follow redirect. Oh no, I'm an idiot. It is... It's just because... Oh my god, because I don't have the console. I didn't realize the redirect was happening and it followed it. God damn it. Can't I stop the redirect? Redirect don't follow. Redirect do not follow. No follow. Redirect. Fetch. Node fetch. No. Node fetch. And I just hate it when it's hijacking my keyboard. I don't remember. Jesus, redirect limit not disabled. Follow redirect. You can use one to achieve what you desire, if I understand correctly. Follow, option follow, blah 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 blah. Node.js, node fetch. Find redirect. Push errors. Useful extensions. Redirect limit. Redirect manual. Okay. Let us see if I can undo whatever damage I've done here. So we'll get rid of that. Did I do any damage here? Nope. Any damage here? Nope. Package. Nope. Undo. Nope. So potentially it was a lot simpler than I thought. So hopefully I can just do this. I can do headers. Headers equals. Maybe it doesn't care about any of them. And then that's outside of the headers anyway. So I can say follow manual. And I know I misspelled that egregiously. If I do this now. Did I not save it? Please. Did I just not save it? No. Follow manual doesn't seem to do the trick. Redirect headers. Error to reject redirect. Body. No. Method get headers. Follow manual. Follow redirect manual. Okay. I'll get there. Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. No, this is not right. We don't need any of this suddenly. Oh man, sorry guys. I really screwed that up. I was running around like a blind man, stopping my toes everywhere. Rest.location. I think that's where I can get it from. Boom. Rest text is not defined. Yeah, no, there's no rest text. Boom. Res.location. Res.headers. .location. Right? Nope. Res.headers. Do we get anything out of that? Yep. Get location. Does it work lowercase as well? Is this case sensitive? Looks like it. Oh my god. All right. Let redirect URL equals boom, and then boom. We'll just do that. And bada bing, bada boom. And then if I do this, and I do this, and I do this. All right, handle kinder callback, handle auth callback. And then, first of all, I'm going to get rid of all of this mess. Right. Don't need any of this mess. None of it. Don't even need that. I'm gonna put that here. Don't need that. Don't need that. Nothing. Don't even need that. Don't even need. All right, handle callback. Res.send. Done. Console.log. Request. Headers. Response.send. All right. So when we arrive here, we want to look at probably only this. So, request.url. How do I usually resolve the URL? URL. If I do this, right? Not outputting anything, so that's not gonna help. Okay, this is actually really nice. This is like, this was kind of what put me on my nose last time. So I think I only need to do a straight up redirect to this stuff offline. Email offline. OpenID profile email offline. Huh. And then I want to do a fetch to this with that URL. Like that, basically, right? Now, it might not work because it's not HTTPS or whatever. Although, yeah, it was the same thing, right? Console.log, console.log, rest.status, status, rest.status, rest.headers, and res.text. Or is dot body? I'm not sure. Oh. Wait. Boom. Redirection found. Redirecting to. And now. If I go back to the root, which should do the auth check, right? And I do this, which is now broken. Res.body. Res.body is not a function. Not sure what came back there. It's authenticated false. Res.body. Is it? Res.status to an undefined. Res.body. Not a function. I don't know. Did I change API suddenly? So res.body is not function. Can I? Oh, but if I clear, oh, yeah, no, I don't want that. Oh, maybe I do. So here we do want to do the redirect. Redirect to wherever we want to redirect, like, that's up to us. The question is, does the redirect need to carry over additional information? I think it might have to. Maybe a cookie? Maybe a cookie, huh? Alright, let's restart that. So, refresh that. Log in. Redirect. So we are logged in. But we're not logged in now. Because we didn't forward the cookies. So what happens? Request URL, Kindle callback, status 302, headers list. So location should be that. Okay. And set cookie. That's the thing that matters. Right. Express redirect set cookie. How do we pass the send cookie with the redirect? Do we just stick it in there? The request cookie. So, if I do this, dot get set cookie, right? And then we'll do response dot cookie, a cookie. What do we get out of it? Name and value. Let cookie equals that. Cookie. Name, value. Name, value. The ID token. ID token. I was trying to achieve my goal. In order to send a cookie with an expiry to the direct URL I just added. Just a note, the 302 is not needed. Express is made through the default status code. Okay, that's fine. Can I... okay, let me see. I want to set a raw cookie. Express.js cookie. I want to... Session cookie. Send cookie. Just setting cookies. No, we don't. No. Set cookie. Set cookie security options. Express. Use set. No, we don't want that. We just want to set a cookie. Express cookie name random number. Like, how is that not the first thing that comes up from the documentation? Right. How about if I use set header and use a set header cookie? Set cookie header. Response, set header. Right? And I'll just clone over whatever this is, right? So I'll say cookie dot name, cookie dot value. Right. Do I do this? And I click login, and I gotta look at the headers that are coming through. Go here. Boom, boom, boom. App crash. Why? Cookie. Header name must be a valid HTTP token. Defined. Because this thing is something else. Set cookie. Name value. Get set cookie. Okay, so it just gets the whole thing. Alright, because this somehow resolves it. And I'm guessing none of these are case sensitive, because that would just be awful. Alright. So we'll do a set cookie here, and we'll do a redirect URL. Oh no, not what I want to press. Where am I? Location. Location. And then we'll just do that. Oh no, not that. That. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. We're crashed again. Undefined for a header set cookie. That's not possible. Login. Error. Undefined. Invalid value for header set cookie. But it's not undefined. I'm defining it here. Hey buddy, I'm defining it here. Response set header cookie connect. Yada yada. Outgoing. Set header set key. Set header. I'm not undefining anything. This is not undefined. It cannot be undefined. Hey poop. Hey Tobes. Oh. He's upset, but I'm still streaming. Hey babe. Error HTTP invalid header value. Or header. Wait, invalid value undefined for header set cookie. Oh, because of this. Okay. Let's do this again. Login. Ooh, what's happening? What's happening? Cookie. Redirect URL. We got redirected. And what did our authentication status say? We're not authenticated. We're not authenticated. We're not authenticated. Excuse me. Why are we not authenticated? So we need to forward. We're forwarding the auth callback. We're fetching from the other side, right? And then what we're getting from the other side has this cookie in it. And then we're setting that cookie. And when we're doing our auth check, are we not passing the cookie through? We kind of are. Right? If I do this directly here, I'll do auth check. Right, we're currently not authenticated. But if I do a login, on 3001, we're not authenticated. If I do a login directly on E3001, it goes through a bunch of steps and eventually throws me back to 3000 and through 3000. Can I intercept that by saying, hey, copy URL, stick it in here, give me 3001. And then go to 3001. Nope, go to 3001. Jeez, go there. And if I go 3001, if I do a check off here, false. Is authenticated on the root. The request.is authenticated. Render in render index auth x authenticated. Let's just handle index. Handle index. If I do, okay, I can just do that. Check is authenticated is false. We're still not making the authentication actually happen. Oh, I'm an idiot. Wait a second. Handle auth callback. Wait a second. Let URL equals. I mean, eventually I'm gonna wrap this all up cleanly, hopefully. Let me go back here. So, refresh, login. Just cycle me through. At some point, it should say URL blah blah blah, right? REST status. Request.headers. Request.url. Request.url. Let's get response headers. Let's just refresh everything again. So spammy. Request URL. Request.url. Request.url. Rest.status. And I'm gonna start indenting them because then it'll be easier to see where one request begins and one ends. Yeah, you know, all that stuff. All that fun stuff. URL. So it's taking us there. Is there some other stuff coming through on the redirect? Maybe that's what's in these headers. Anything in these headers? There is the cookie. Do we need the cookie? Do we need the refer? Do we need the cookie? Do we need any of these things? Excuse me. Maybe we do need the cookie. Maybe we do need the cookie. Maybe whatever it is. Maybe the cookie is only going through because it's existing, not because it was set or is being used. So if we delete the cookie, refresh, and now we log in, the cookie is being set at the end. But at this, at this step, there's no cookie. And if we go here and we look at application, there won't be a cookie here. Right? Because we're not using a browser. Handle check off. It's still all false. All false. Okay, let us do something. Let us I'm gonna have to do something off screen here for a sec. Basically, I want to update the configuration quickly to point at 3001 for some stuff, right? So wherever we're initializing the environment variables, which I believe is happening over here somewhere. Config, setup kind, config. So we'll do config.kindersiteurl equals 3001. And the other one is the redirect URL. Basically, I just want to make sure it works if I run it all on the auth server, quote unquote, locally. That's the logout. And the last one is the callback. We have... wait, URL. Right. So we have a what happened here? No, I'm not gonna mess with that. We have the redirect URL, it's regular string, and we'll have the post logout redirect. Right. And that's also regular string. So these are just gonna be 3001s here for a shack. Close that now. Sure, save it, whatever. See if I care. So now, if I go here and I go login, it sends us through to 3000, even though it should not. How? How? Is that something that's happening on the other end? No, I don't think so. So if I do this and log in, is it because of evil caching? Very possible. Don't need that. Disable cache. Go here. Why are you going to 3001? Redirecting localhost 3000. No. No, 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 no. 302 found. Remote address slash login question mark 123. Not enough to break out of the cache, huh? Bring out the big guns. So localhost 301 slash login. No cache, no cookies, no nothing. Let's just make sure. This says 3,000 and it still says 3,000 in the callback. Wait a second. Changing it here. How is that possible? We're going here. We're going to the login. And I'm just realizing this must be super tiny for you guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this stream soon anyways. Sorry about the game stream. It's ran a bit long. I'll see if I can maybe... Ideally, I start that one earlier. Have a bit of a Sunday morning fun. Anyway, let's see. Let us see. This one is... Got the 3,000 coming straight out of this one, which is not correct. So my config setup here is completely wrong. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot because the name for that field is actually this. And the name for that one is actually that one. And the name for that one is actually that one. And that should hopefully sort all that out. Slash login. And nope. Try it again. Slash login. Make sure that's actually restarted. And 3001 login. 5,000 status error. What the heck? Content strip self nonce. I think unset inline keyword or a hash or nonce is required to enable inline notification. That's weird. But it's redirecting to. What's it redirecting to? What's it redirecting to? To that auth yada yada redirect 3001. Okay. Callback URL is invalid. Your application will please register callback URL in the end. Yeah. Except I'm pretty sure it's gotta be this. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let me briefly run this on 3000 again. Just to make sure it's actually running. So we should be able to do 3000 login. And it should just cycle us around. That is weird. Async function. Client is authenticated. Wait, what? Where's that coming from? Check is authenticated. Res. Check is authenticated. Oh, okay. Client is authenticated. All right. Restart it. All right. Anyway, that one works. So I think the last... Okay, so I figured out the first step. So now basically I have 2 more steps and I have to make sure each step gets the right data into the server. So this happened so fast I don't even freaking see what's happening here. So we just cycled around and came back and now we probably have a cookie somewhere, right? Yeah. We delete this, right? We'll restart the auth server. We'll refresh this. We needed to get a cookie again. Why? How? So it's giving us a default cookie. So it's giving us a connection ID, a session ID cookie. All right. So that's just a session. Oh, wait a second. Does that mean we don't necessarily deal with the cookie? So the cookie might have to exist up ahead of time, right? Ah, wait. If I delete this and I immediately go to the login page, login, right? And I clear this and I just go to the login page. So even here, it probably sets a session cookie. And maybe that's where I need to grab it, and maybe I'm not. So handle check auth, handle index, handle login, fetch, login, redirect. We don't grab the cookie here. And the cookie doesn't necessarily go to the browser here, except it could. Ah, okay, wait, it could. It could. Okay. All right, maybe that's the mistake, because it's probably internally using the session to track the round trip. So if we grab the cookie here, now we've done the same thing before. We've done it here, I think. We don't even need to do this, right? So if I do this, and I just go response.send done, right? And I'll just go here, and we'll just click login. So we get a redirect URL, and we do get a cookie, and we do want to do both of those things here, like that, right? And we'll do that. And we round tripped. But we also need to... So now we need to pass the cookies onwards. Right. So we need to keep round tripping the cookies. And once I figure this all out, I'm going to streamline it massively. You can bet on it. So, requests. Request.headers. Request.headers. If I just do this, and I do a login round trip, request headers will have a cookie. We probably have to forward that cookie here as well. And how do we do that? We'll probably have to do this. At least. Request.headers. Can I do just .cookie, huh? .cookie. I might even have to just forward the whole thing. Maybe. Maybe. Ooh, something like that. Headers, redirect. Redirect, manual. Headers, this. Like that. Unexpected token. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, check auth isn't a thing now. But if I do this, boom, very, very successful. It's freaking working, guys. So handle check auth right now. So if I do something like express send JSON, right? There must be something easier than actually having to set JSON headers. That seems so pedestrian. Do I have to set my own freaking? Oh, I really do. Or JSON. Ah, there we go. JSON. And then I should be able to do something like auth. Res. Oh. And then on this side, if I do this, undefined, and if I do login, yada yada, boom, round, and if I refresh that, where's the check auth? Where's the check auth result? Handle check off. Response. Res. Handle check off. Handle index. Handle index. Check off. Res.status. Res.text. Await res.text is done because we haven't restarted this. Have we? Auth false. Auth true. Yes, yes, yes. So, log in, boom, 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 and shut down, and restart, and refresh, and we're still authenticated. Because we didn't restart this guy. Now, if I restart this guy, and then refresh this page, we're still authenticated? Does it do an internal API call? Yes, it does. So our cookies are still authenticated. So it has that fallback. Okay, so maybe I'm overcomplicating things. Because if I check is authenticated, right? If I don't have the local auth available, then we're just revalidating the token, which I'm guessing I am getting out of that. I'm gonna risk peeking at this. But I think the parse token is basically what it builds out of that session ID, right? The cookie basically. Also, handle check off. This authentic check is authentic false. Okay, login. Check is authenticated true. Parse token is that. Now, if I do this and I refresh, it's coming back as false. Why does it before come back as true then? That's so weird. So, client is authenticated will be true. Now, if I... It's true. Now, if I refresh that, it's still getting to here. So, client is authenticated will always come back as false. Maybe. Anyway, it's doing what I wanted to do. So, we can take it from there next time. And part of what I want to do today is actually start thinking about... like, what's the next step, right? And very specifically, not so much MVP style, but more prototype. Like, hey, what am I looking to get? Because if I can run this authentication server as a microservice, then I can build something much simpler here that I can plug into SudokuPad that doesn't have to have all the same security hubbalaboo. And I hope there are no implications to communicating to localhost on the service, because on the server with a microservice, because if the server's compromised, it's compromised. SSL is gonna save you. Yeah, I think at least I solved that headache of not figuring out how to microserviceify the authentication aspect. And I think I've recorded all of these. So I don't need to save that many tabs, and I don't need all these anymore. And yeah, there's a couple of... So yeah, so tomorrow, according to my schedule, which is here, and I'm gonna make that a little bit... Actually, I'm gonna zoom out down a little bit. So next week, so tomorrow, Monday morning, I'm gonna do a live stream which I call user support, but basically I'm looking into bug reports, right? And there's some bug reports with, not that, with this puzzle. Basically, these Unicode characters are not appearing correctly on Android. And I think this might be a paywalled puzzle, so just pretend you didn't see that. So I'm gonna look into that, which is gonna be a bit tricky. I'm gonna have to set up my Android test setup. So yes, the Unicode characters aren't present in the fonts on Android, but in theory, I have a feature called Twimoji, which, and in fact, it should be somewhere here. Maybe on advanced, multi, yep, no, gameplay, visual, distributed replacement, right? So I tested on my phone, and I had the same issue, but I didn't check if that feature was enabled or disabled. Because that feature is supposed to fix that, right? Visual, disable emoji replacement, off, on. Yeah, so it doesn't work. Now, there was something about the Twimoji system where the CDN was going down or whatever and doesn't work anymore. And it could be related to that. I'll look into it. But I thought I'd fix that. So I just have to hook into the Android device with remote debugging to be able to figure out, is it hitting the right CDN? Yeah, because I've changed it to this CDN and that's working. So I have to figure out what's the problem there. And there's some other issues from Mark. Mark sent me where there's some bugs with the old legacy tool that CTC are using, and I've created a little importer for them, and maybe it's not importing correctly or something. I'll poke at that. And also there's a whole bunch of emails about issues with the app. And I don't know if that's related to something I've done recently, so I gotta investigate that. So these are all the sorts of things I might be doing on a Monday morning stream. User support, and also any questions you have. So if you've got questions, come on in. I'll try to answer them. They'll be tomorrow morning, my time, which is Central European time. Yeah, I think we're 2 hours ahead of UTC at the moment, so it might be quite early. But to my joy, I found that Bremster pops in sometimes, so I don't know if it's late at night for him or early morning, or no, it can't be early morning because he's like 12 hours different, so it might be evening for him. Yeah, just when he sits down on his couch, maybe he'll pops by to say hello, which is always nice. That's it. Since we didn't do any changes to the app, I'm not gonna do a test game now. Take care of Toby, give him some cuddles. Thanks for stopping by, take care, have a good day.